So for those of you who have asked how we keep our relatively decent figures with all the food and things that we have on travel, this is how. There it is, right in front of us. So don't stop for these. Everyone's trying to get you to park your bike with them. That's not the main entrance. It's like we're in Chicago. So this is the official place where you park your bikes at. So don't let anybody tell you anything differently. And we always take a picture just so we know what to look for when we get back. Okay, so after you park your bike, it's 100,000 dong, or about $4 US per person to enter in. And again, a lot is made of climbing up the dragon, but there is a lot more to see and kind of experience here. So that's what we'll do while we contemplate whether we are going to obey common sense today or try to climb. All the bonsai. Got some good fishermen here. Don't know what they taste like, but free food, free food. So, first step, second step, this is the Dragon Tiger Cave, and my answer to that is no, absolutely not. A couple things to note, as Stephanie did. The steps are natural. They're a relative, like about 8 inches between steps, so just kind of take that in mind. But like they say, the first step is always the hardest. If it's not true, it's the other 499. There's the Lotus Lake. you make the choice between going left to go to the dragon and right to go to the temple. The height of each of the steps also seems to increase to almost a foot. So again, if you're of short stature, this is something to take into consideration. Okay.
Bench.
So now we're at least higher than the spire on the other side.
I am glad that we're doing this in the daylight first,
Yeah.
because this last little bit is challenging, I would say.
It's like 10:24 in the morning. It's not as busy as I thought it was going to be, but I think it's possibly also because of the season that we're in.
Yeah, for sure. It's winter.
Probably the best thing for us to compare it to would be when we climbed El Pino,
Yeah,
and that was crowded.
it was. But they also had railings, and
They had railings.
there was no way to fall.
Yeah.
Really, you could stumble, but you couldn't really fall. Boy, I'm glad I brought a bottle of water.
Yes.
Look, it's almost gone.
There are some refreshment stands up here, which explains how I saw people coming down and eating ice cream. And I was like, would not have been in my backpack.
Dry
But
ice
it's good to bring at least one bottle of water for the way up, maybe a bottle of water for the way down.
Yeah, or plan to buy one. I think I'll get a cold one on the way down.
There's very little shade, so you also want to be concerned about heat exhaustion. Definitely wear light colored clothes.
And sunscreen in the summer, I'm sure.
Definitely sunscreen in summer. Sturdy shoes. So
For
we
sure.
see people trying these treks in sandals and things like that, and you could probably make it, but
High-heeled boots.
with the way these stones are, you really don't want to fall, because it will leave a scar.
Yeah,
So.
for sure. If not a broken bone. As always, use common sense.
Yes, please. Especially you Americans.
It's our biggest travel tip.
Biggest
Use
travel
common
tip.
sense.
Yes. And try not to be an American.
Oh gosh.
Excuse me, do you mind?
Of course I can. Yes. Do you want to join there?
Wait, not there yet?
Okay. Now, if you so choose, there's the dragon, and
Oh, I so
there's a little
choose. I've
path
come this way. I've come
to go this far.
We're
So
going up there.
the last part up is definitely not stairs. if you have, and you'll find that the stones are a little bit slippery from all the traffic on them. Be prepared to use your hands. So if you're someone who has delicate hands, or you just want a little more grip, perhaps bring some gloves.
This one's wiggly and slick.
Okay. A little bit of a traffic jam here. There's only one way in and out. So just try to be respectful of everyone and give them room.
Thank you.
Okay. Go ahead. Can you get by?
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
Okay.
Just one second.
I think I'm fine here. I don't
That's
think
great.
I need to go all the way up there. I'm not quite sure how I'll make it,
so I have to-
actually.
So this is where things get pretty treacherous because it's all about people and working together. You can kind of climb the length of the dragon if you choose,
I'm gonna have to come down, or you're gonna have to go up.
or you can just marvel at the view right here, which is what we're going to choose to do today. Now, decided to take a few more steps up to the head of the dragon. And the view up here is definitely worth it. Hey, Steph. Hey, Steph.
Yeah. Hi.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready to go down whenever.
The challenge is coming down. It's important to note that the top of these rocks are very slippery. So make sure you have at least 2 points of contact at all times. The way down is also can be hazardous. Best advice is avoid all the shiny spots. And if you need to, kind of squat and walk down on your bottom, because it is very steep and it would be a painful fall no matter how short it is. As opposed to Alpina, our legs aren't as wobbly
Right.
going down, or even Akatanango.
Look at this. It goes all the way up to it's almost my whole inseam.
Yeah, some of these steps are no joke.
That's not 12 inches. That's like almost 20 inches.
That's what.
Well,
Oh, never mind.
what?
That's not 12 inches. That's what she said. Should I remind everybody there's a Starbucks at the top?
No.
Okay.
Or yeah, you can put your hands on my shoulder.
Should I remind everybody there's a slide on the other side?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a rocky descent, but there's a slide, all right.
Okay, it's about 11 o'clock now, so going up and coming back down took us a little over an hour. We definitely have beat the rush, so something to consider. There's some people who like to come up here for sunrise, others at sunset. We came in mid-morning. I think you definitely want to try to get here before the 11 to noon hour, when a lot of people, particularly those who are on day tours, will come through here. Who tamed that dragon? That's right, she did. That dragon don't know Mama Bear.
Oh, it's quite a hike.
Here we go. 3, 4. Woo!
Oh.
We made it.
We did.
All right, so we're gonna sit for a little bit and chit chat about this before we head back.
Very good.
Oh. Well, we did it.
We did. Good job.
So Stephanie wanted to point out that there was a time, literally 10 months ago, where I famously said this.
Well, we made it.
Yeah, we have not learned our lesson. It's like, ooh, let's go someplace nice, and then it's like, ooh, there's something to climb. Never again. I learned my lesson. This is it. Yeah, so here we are again.
Yep.
So
As I predicted.
kind of ending the year almost as we started it.
Yes.
Climbing insane things. But you know, not too bad for a couple of older adults.
Yep.
I think we did pretty well. So our time up and down was about an hour.
I think maybe a little longer.
Yeah, with the stops and everything like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so yeah. Whew.
I think with the stops we might have clocked about an hour and a half, but because we took pictures up at the top and everything.
Yeah, actually at the beginning of this video tells you what time we started, and right now it's 11:06.
There you go.
And we've walked about 5 minutes since we've gotten down. So
Yep.
there you go.
Yep. So I think that for us, it's like God put us together for a reason.
Yep.
Chris is a great planner and does.
I'm a very good planner.
And does a lot of research and.
I'm a very good researcher.
And comes up with lots of really interesting things for us to go do and see, and even has a list of restaurants that he thinks I might enjoy.
I'm a very good eater.
He puts a lot of time and effort into the plan. And,
I'm a lover, not a fighter.
and upon occasion, if we get to a place and I have a concern or a question, he does feel as though that's disrespectful of the research that he's done.
Now at this point, everyone's like clutching their pearls. Going, oh my gosh, little Christopher gets an attitude. Oh my gosh, it must be something wrong with Stephanie. No, it's something that we thought we would film this just because it's part of who we are.
And it's also part of the challenge of traveling.
Yeah, you will have disagreements, but typically there will be someone who is more of the planner and the other person who takes advantage of that. And one analogy that we use is that we each have different skill sets and passions and experiences. And in a partnership, whether it's in business or in relationships, personal relationships, there will always be someone who's able to take the lead. Either they're doing the research, or they have that experience, or they have whatever it takes to be that lead person.
Right.
The other person does have a role, and it's not just necessary to sit back, but it's to be supportive and it's to provide input. And as the person who is kind of driving or in the
Driver's seat. Sure.
what they can't forget is that they have a partner with them, and that with great power comes great responsibility.
Yep.
Well, with great leadership also comes responsibility, and that's something that just in all transparency, I failed at miserably 2 days ago, and it resulted in 12, 14 hours of us just not being
On the same page.
at all, and we missed a good 12, 14 hours of quality time together as we had to sort it out.
I will say though that it isn't a waste of time to sort it out. In the moment, it does seem like a waste of time, but the reality is that a partnership does require that both people sort out those differences. And when you're in a foreign country, it's a great place to not be able to escape to the normal everyday life of business and busyness.
And importantly, you're in a foreign country and you verbally commit to each other that you will not leave the other person in that country, because there were options. There were options.
So Chris is great at creating a plan, and I'm good at poking it to make sure that it's airtight.
Yes. And so as a person who makes a plan, you can't take offense at someone fact-checking your plan, And it's easy, I think, for me to say, oh yeah, it's bulletproof, and until someone starts shooting, then you're like, why are you shooting at my plan? Because that's what partners do, and I had to learn from that, will continue to learn from that, is that when you're a leader, you're not a dictator. You are someone who is leading by the permission and the support of your partner. And in some sense, you're actually serving your partner by taking that role. And the serving doesn't end with, ta-da, here's the plan, which, again, I'm still learning.
I think that another partner saying that could go along with great responsibility, great power and responsibility, is with great leadership must come great humility. Because a leader without humility is a dictator.
Yeah.
And so, it takes humility to say, oh, I hadn't thought of that particular aspect of this perhaps not being ideal.
Yeah.
And in particular, we were talking about going up to the Dragon, this hike that we just accomplished. And again, a high five, because that was work.
We did it.
And the gentleman at our hotel suggested that we go up at sunset, which set off alarm bells for me because it's a hike I've never done. And I've seen a few videos, not nearly as many as Chris, but the ones that I saw set off warning bells. Like, maybe I, as a 56-year-old woman, don't want to try to traverse down in the dusk.
I thought you were 26. This is news, folks. I've been catfished. Oh my gosh. What?
So,
There were no signs. Wow.
You have my passport.
But clearly you understand I don't do math.
So I brought up my concerns about us traversing that hike on the way down after sunset. And I am thankful to say that we did it for the first time in broad daylight, because it was scary at the top. I didn't even go all the way up to the Dragon, because that was a leap of faith that I wasn't willing to make from the one side of the rock
she was
to the
right
other.
there next to the Dragon, but there's a part where you can actually climb over and be like I did right there with the Dragon, and it is not for the faint of heart. It's actually questionable why I even did it.
There's a gully between jagged rocks. Where none of the options were comfortable for me and I didn't care about actually getting up on the Dragon. I was right there. I could touch it.
There's literally a sign there that says, "Smart people stop here." And Stephanie saw it. I just ignored it because I thought that must be in Vietnamese. and it wasn't. I just chose to ignore it. So, but so yeah. So we titled our channel and our website "Better Together: Travel Stories" because
it takes both of us.
it does, and these adventures do make us better together. There was one point at the height of this yesterday where Stephanie came and sat on my lap, which I think guys will understand. If you're in the middle of going, verbally toe to toe, that threw me off because I literally said, "Why are you on my lap?" So, she's like, because I want to be, and part of my brain is like, "Ooh," other part of my brain is like, but that's one of Stephanie's superpowers, was that she, more likely than me, is able to figure out how to do that verbal, hey, focus. This is, we are not fighting the problem, we're fighting each other.
Yes.
And yeah. So, but I love this woman. And we woke up this morning and I was kind of iffy on whether or not we should even try this. Let's just go to the park. And she's like, we get here and I'm like, oh no. And she's like, oh, we're doing it.
It's never that I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do it. I just was uncomfortable doing it in the evening because of my knees and because of that last hike down the mountain. Because literally the last hike down anything was in broad daylight, and I was just praying to get off the mountain, and so it was triggering for me. I didn't think about how triggering it was, and I did overreact to the trigger, the emotional trigger of, I have not climbed down anything since you had to almost carry me down, and I didn't want you to have to carry me down this in the dark.
That's fair.
And so I was almost like deer in the headlights, frozen out of fear, which is not a good place to operate making decisions, but it has to be addressed.
Yeah. And that's where I had to take a pause and, again, fight the problem, not Stephanie. And that was first listening and saying, okay, she's not disparaging your plan. She's just giving additional input that will help make the plan even better. And that's where I could have used more of my tools to say, okay, here's the things that I know. Here's what I know from our other experience. Here's how we can adapt the plan so that you feel more comfortable. So, lesson learned for me and for us.
Yeah, me too.
So.
Me too. I just need to sit on your lap sooner.
Yes.
And show you my gratitude early and often.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah. So, anyways, we hope everyone has enjoyed this video. So, we're going to bike back to back to Liberty Hall. It was a nice 15, 20 minute, 30 minute.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It was leisurely.
It was leisurely.
Fun.
I think if you take a car, it's 11 minutes. If you walk, it's 52 minutes. So it's somewhere between that on a bike. But we're going to do that. Stop and have some banh mi again at our favorite little banh mi place here, and then head back to the hotel, get packed up, and it's back to Hanoi for a few days. So thank you for watching this video. We hope you liked it. If so, please click the little like button down there. It doesn't take much, but it really means a lot to us. And consider subscribing and following, so more of this goodness will be in your YouTube feed. All right. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.